All right, hello, and welcome back to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 24. No, it's 25. I'm pretty sure it's 25. We were at the 1/4 mark to 100, which is kind of crazy to me. Today, we are doing the Vampire Killer Day today, upper body. Very excited, looking forward to that. Hopefully getting in and out quick. Gotta go to my favorite store afterwards, Kirkland Signature. So, gotta go get things so I can prep meals and stuff, and continue this cut. Speaking about cut, the cut has been going very well so far. I'm starving every night, so, it's doing pretty decent. Weight-wise, I'm doing well. I'm still maintaining about the same weight that I have been for a little bit. Now I'm just starting to go down a little bit. I ate rice yesterday. For the past 2 days, I ate rice, and I've noticed rice makes me retain a lot of water. So gotta cut it out on for that for a little bit, which I hate because I love rice. That is the one thing food I can't live without. Genuinely, I cannot live without rice. I thought there were times in the last cut I did, I was like, fuck. But potatoes are good. I'm not gonna be like, potatoes. But potatoes are good, but rice is great. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. I gotta say no to it for a little bit. Replace it with other things, and then hopefully in March time when I'm reaching 180 or 178 or whatever, I can bring back rice slowly because I don't want to overdose on it. But so for today's workout briefing, feeling good, feeling great. My knees kind of hurt a little bit, but that was just because it tweaked my left one. Now my right one's just being like, hey, what's going on? But luckily, I'm not doing anything lower body. So that makes that a lot simpler and easier. I don't have to worry about it. It's kind of nice doing the upper lower in that sense because I don't have to worry about shit, I have to train X or Y today, It gets another rest day, and then tomorrow I get to go hard and see how it feels. Maybe a little bit of stretching and stuff will probably make it feel better. But anyways, rest of the upper body feels good. My back feels great. Not cooked like it was the other day, so we're gonna cook it again. Very excited about that. I'm looking forward to this workout. I feel my back gains growing, or just back in general growing in a good way, not necessarily like in a hunchbacky way. I'm starting to notice that there's a lot less fat back there too, so maybe working it out while cutting has been effective on the back. It'll be interesting to see what the workouts are going to look like in about a month or two. Actually, in a month or two. It's about the cut will be done in a month or two, but more so in about a month, because I think sooner or later I'm gonna have to start cutting volume for recovery reasons. So instead of going to 3 to 4 sets, I'll probably just do 2 to 3, and I think that's just gonna have to happen. I don't want to do that, but it's the only way I'll be able to keep up with recovery while I'm doing this. It'll let me stay up in weight and stuff, because this knee issue kind of flared up and I was like, shit. So I think part of it has to do with the recovery that I'm doing, aka the food, the amount of food that I'm getting. Since I'm doing a pretty hard cut right now, it's not going to be as good as when I was maintaining or just doing a 1 pound a week. Because even when I'm 1 pound a week, I was all right. I was still doing it, but I don't want to do that diet until May in order to lose all the poundage. I'd rather end it in March and then call it a day. So much easier. I will have to figure that entire thing out, which is a whole issue on its own, but not really. I think I'm gonna go generally just down in sets, so then that way I'm not killing myself / I'm still maintaining, doing a couple of PRs and stuff like that while I can recover enough to keep going. Although doing it upper lower has been pretty nice on recovery. Like I said, today my knees kind of hurt, but I'm like, all right, today I don't have to do anything, so that I'm looking forward to. That's the one part about this that I like a lot, so I don't have to worry about cooking too much or where I'm burnt out like I was before in the full body. That's the cool part. But anyways, no real other subjects to talk about today. I think today is going to be one of those straightforward, straight narrow type deal. Maybe when I'm doing the voiceover, maybe I'll think of an idea for today, but for now it's just chilling, and I will see you on the inside.
Okay, on this day we start off with neck curls followed by preacher curls. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about the name Vampire Killer, because that's kind of a crazy ass name in order to have a day dedicated to it. So the Vampire Killer is named after the main whip that is passed down from the Belmont family in the game Castlevania. I went with the Vampire Killer because I was originally going to go with the Chrysogrim, the sword from one of my favorite favorite video games of all time, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I was going to go with that, but I decided to go with the Vampire Killer because Chrysogrim, although it's a great weapon, a super overpowered, great weapon. It's awesome. The effect that it has when you see it in like the game is super sick. It's great. The only issue is that I don't like the term Chrysogrim. It doesn't sound as hard as something like Vampire Killer, you know, something great like that, you know, even though it's more syllables and stuff and it's not just one word. Chrysogrim, although cool, it's not Vampire Killer. And I couldn't name it something else from the game like a shield rod or something like that, which I did think about for a second. There was also the Muramasa blade from that game that I thought about doing, but then I was like, no, because even though it would be cool, it's just not, you know, if I say Muramasa, there's so many things that it could be from multiple different other things besides Castlevania. So I just decided, screw it, I'm gonna go with the Vampire Killer. But I'd like to think back to Bald Omni-Man when thinking about these names. It's like, is it chatty? Does it sound like a Chad-like name, you know? Will it sound badass? And yes, Vampire Killer applies to that. Chrysogrim, not as much. Muramasa, yes, but also, meh, I think Vampire Killer, you know, if you know what it is, you know exactly what it's from. So that's why I like that. To get back a little bit to the workout here, had to end up doing shoulder press instead of overhead press. I actually forgot that overhead press is on this day, but I had to replace it with shoulder press because the squat racks were full, like full to the point where the people who were waiting were doing calf raises to wait for the squat racks to open up. So I knew that I wasn't gonna get one anytime soon. So I just said, screw it. I just did shoulder press. I like these a lot. I didn't think they would be as hard as they were, but they were really tough. I actually enjoyed them a lot. It's a nice replacement for the overhead press. These were a worthy variation for replacing the OHP whenever it's too full over there. So these will be seen again on the Hypertrophy Odyssey. Then these beautiful dumbbell rows are amazing. I really do enjoy doing them a lot. They make my back feel stretched as hell. I really did enjoy them. We'll get back to these in a second. Anyways, talking back about Vampire Killer. So the reason why I went with Vampire Killer as well is because from my favorite games, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you can play as one of the Belmonts after you beat the game, which is great because he uses the Vampire Killer. You also play him technically in like the prelude part of the game. So that was also like a big factor in me deciding Vampire Killer. I think I had Castlevania on the brain because I had a email from Konami that was like, hey, Castlevania fans, do you want to check out this? Because I bought some stuff from their website about Metal Gear, or I bought some Metal Gear stuff from their website about like a few months back. So they're just like, all right, this guy likes this, so let's see if he likes these. So I was like, all right, whatever. I was cool with it. I was very cool with doing that and checking that entire thing out. And also, I would get some of their merch, but I'm also like, meh, some of their merch is kind of alright. Some of it's a little excessive. I don't really care. I just did Metal Gear stuff because I wanted Metal Gear stuff for such a long time, and it's very rare to find Metal Gear merchandise regularly. So I was like, let me take advantage of this. You'll see here that I'm walking by with the farmer's carries. I just decided to do it as quickly as possible and show you a little bit of when I passed by the camera. I was not moving the camera. The dumbbell rows with the farmer's carry, which was a not good idea. Very not good idea. My back and my arms were cooked after that. I was not happy. Do not do that again. That was a personal note to self that I'll say echo again at the end of this video, but I really was an idiot for that. I don't know why I could do both of those, like as if there was no crossover. Mega crossover. Don't do that again. Do it separately, in fact, or like separate them in the workout, or if not, just do farmer's carries on a different day. That's how serious it was. I was like, no, this cooked me so hard. Back to Castlevania Symphony of the Night is in the top 3 favorite video games of all time for me. It would be number 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, particularly Metal Gear Solid 2, but I love all the franchise, but Metal Gear Solid 2, then Resident Evil 4, then Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Those are the 3. Those are the 3 games that I will play and replay constantly without fail. I will play them over and over again. Speaking, like literally talking about this right now, I found that there is a ROM, an English translation ROM with all of the fixes for the Sega Saturn version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is known as one of the better versions because it has a section that was actually taken off from the American version, and I have not played this version of it at all, and I want to play it so because it seems awesome. And then I would like to do that as soon as I can, but I have to download it and then figure out the entire ROM situation. To add a note on these face pulls, I actually finally did the thing where I added a plate to the stack, but it was just a 2.5 because from here the stack goes from 42.5 to 65, which is a huge weight increase, so I wanted to start doing that. So I'm gonna have to start adding like 10 or 15 on the stack, which is kind of annoying, but it held up well. So it's been a few days since I recorded the last part of this voiceover, but I've been sick. This will be gone into detail in a future episode, but that's why my voice might sound a little different from here. I'm doing decline bench sit-ups because I didn't do them the day before, and I wanted to get them in this day. And thankfully I did because I got them in somewhere, and this week I had to end up fixing this bench because the little part that was actually making it decline was broken, so I had to go find a little pin to hold it in place and make sure it wouldn't wobble, and it worked out perfectly. That wasn't that huge of a deal, but these I'm thankful I got in because I didn't actually end up I didn't hit abs the next day. It ended up working out perfect. As for the sickness, like I said earlier, I will go into it in the next video or the video after, but here, the pack deck was pretty nice. I decided to end off with the reverse pack deck just so I can get the blood flow back there at the very end. I don't want to necessarily overdo it. These are feeling fantastic. I've been really liking these a lot. It's been long. I left this in the edited stage for quite some time, but I couldn't do anything because my literal voice was gone and destroyed. So that was the most annoying part of it all. I just could not even speak. But seeing this again, it makes me miss the gym, and I can't wait to go back. I've also been snowed in for the past few days, so that's also been a battle between myself and the gym, and also sickness, so it's all levels of bad timing and weather as well, but that's also another future episode too. But these have been great. They've been helping out my back a lot, as well as I accidentally did the first 2 sets with 20 more pounds than I meant to do, which was kind of annoying, and I didn't mean to do that at all. And that's a lesson learned there, to pay more attention to that. I also changed up the grips to make it so it was a different stimulus on the back. I also didn't know that I had done more weight until the 3rd set, so I was like, that might explain why it hurt a little bit more, or was a little bit harder than last time.
All right, and we're back. We are back with the workout debriefing. Today was very taxing. I learned a little bit of a lesson in there. Probably will talk about it beforehand if I'm not already busy talking about something else. But if I don't, I'll add it here. Do not superset rows with farmer's carry. Not a good idea. My entire upper body felt cooked after the first set. So don't do that. That is a life lesson to myself. No, just don't. Take the time, let it recover, then do it. But overall, pretty good. I'm feeling it right now in my elbows, which is kind of annoying. So that means that JM press might be in the list of exercises to add in the near future, since I know that that's one of the better ways to take care of elbow tendonitis. So if this problem persists, because it could just be like one of those one time, my elbows just feel cooked period, type of deals. I'm gonna see how I feel tomorrow after pull-ups and stuff, and over the weekend. But if it keeps persisting, then we'll see if we're gonna have to add something else to make sure that the elbows are a little bit stronger. So overall though, pretty nice. I enjoyed doing this again. I did like the Vampire Killer the first time. I enjoyed it now the second time. I'm out a little bit later, but I did add that set of abs, so that does make it a little bit time consuming, especially because I had to fix that incline bench. So that was a whole saga in its own. Right now, I am heading home. I'm about to go do a trip to my favorite place, Costco, and I don't really have much to discuss on this part. I really wish I had like more of a thought out, like, oh, you can talk about this, talk about that. I think the only thing I could really talk about was that while I was in the locker room, we had two kids talking about, it's two kids, it's probably like two high schoolers, maybe like early college kids. It was two of them. They were just talking about what they were going to hit and stuff. I was like, okay, so they actually know what they're going to hit. It was interesting. They asked each other if you could only exercise one body part, what would it be? Or like if you could have one big one, just one exercise. One of them said back, the other one said buys. So that was like, oh wow, okay. Yeah, although the back is technically multiple smaller muscles, but like, I did think about it and I'm like, if I had to choose one muscle that I could only train, or like one muscle that I would be like huge all of a sudden, I'd probably agree with the guy that said back. But if I were to be particular, probably the lats, because the lats are amazing. They give you that V taper, the fucking huge whoomp, especially if you get the huge lats, you'll see it from the front. Those are the best right there. That was a very interesting little tidbit to be hearing, but also makes me kind of happy that there are people out there that are actually worried about what they're training and stuff. They're split. They were doing, from what I was hearing, they were doing body part split. So I'm like, all right. I'm not going to shit on the body part split because people do it, but at the same time, it's not the most optimal, but at the same time, it works. And as long as they're not stupid with it, they could keep working for a long time. It's just the people who end up taking it to the stupidville is quite a few. That's the issue. So, well, what the hell? Okay, sorry, there was a van that was going into my lane. Anyway, today was a good day. Vampire Killer, another in the books. Tomorrow, I am excited to talk about the name for tomorrow's. Excited for tomorrow because I get to talk about tomorrow's name for the workout for lower body too. Very excited about that, because then that's a whole other discussion that we could talk about. Although I briefly mentioned it in another one too, which was the Perk Angle episode, which might give you a little bit of a spoiler. It's not called Perk Angle though, but something wrestling related. That being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you later. Peace.